I started with drugs 14, 15.
Okay.
Yeah. I was very sort of spiritual at a young age, wanting to know deep, dark questions about life very early on. Didn't have them answered yet, so it's sort of purposeless, not quite understanding how things worked.
When I see pictures of you from when you were growing up, you don't look very happy.
Exposed to death very early. Not really a kid that was interested in being materialistic or celebrity or alone a lot. Music was a huge part of my life, so that's what would get me through things.
Hey friend, welcome to my channel, Karina Lude, where we deep dive and break down the most iconic stars in history. If you're not yet subscribed, please be sure to do so and turn your notifications on so you never miss an upload. Now let's get into this video. We are not only reporting on the death of Lisa Marie Presley, but we will be reporting on the good times, her life, and also a few of the tragedies that she has endured. For those who don't know, aside from being the only child of the man commonly referred to as the king of rock and roll, she has achieved fame in her own right. Lisa Marie Presley grew up pampered and spoiled by her dad thanks to her wealthy family. But sadly, when asked what was her greatest fear, her response was death. So unfortunate, she suffered a lot of loss in her life. We're going to jump right into her childhood. The world was introduced to Lisa Marie Presley on February 1st, 1968. Both Elvis and Priscilla Presley raised her, and following her parents' split, she split her time between her mother's home in Los Angeles and her father's at Graceland in Memphis. Lisa Marie was showered with gifts as a child, including fur coats and numerous pieces of jewelry. Even her mother voiced concerns about these gifts. She was worried about her being spoiled, though not out of jealousy, but rather out of concern for her daughter's development.
And I knew that no one was going to tell me what to do because they would get fired. It was truthfully a terror, to be honest, and I'm not something I'm not proud of particularly, but my mom was completely the opposite. She was really strict. There was no schedule, there was no time at Graceland, no rules. It was almost like this fun house. No matter what you destroyed, no matter what you threw, no matter what broke, it would somehow miraculously get replaced within 24 hours. I fired people, yeah. Apparently I did. He would rent out Libertyland and we would stay there all night riding roller coasters over and over and over and over all night long.
You had a golf cart, you were spoiled like mad.
I don't think that I looked at it as being spoiled. I think that I looked at it as my father loved me and didn't get to spend a lot of time with me, and when he did, he wanted to go out of his way to do whatever he needed to do to make me, seemingly happy.
Who ruled Graceland? Who was the dictator?
Well, my father, but if he was sleeping, and I would...
You found a very smart way of telling people that if you don't do what I say, I'm going to tell my dad and he's going to fire you.
I hear these stories a lot when I was a kid. It was an element, it was a phase, it didn't last, but I did go through it. Right.
So you must have been very lonely.
I was, yeah. I mean, most of the time I would be in my room listening to music.
And how did you perceive all this fame thing and fans and people trying to climb over the fence?
Didn't know any different.
The unthinkable happened to Lisa Marie on August 16, 1977. Her father, Elvis Presley, passed away prematurely. The story made the front page of nearly every newspaper in the United States. Lisa Marie has just turned 9 at the time. In his will, Elvis left everything to his only child, but because she was still a minor, her grandfather was put in charge of the estate, and after she turned 25, she was to receive her inheritance in full, which included Graceland. On her 25th birthday in 1993, she inherited the estate, which had grown to an estimated $100 million. And in 2004, Presley sold 85% of her father's estate. Her mother started dating actor Michael Edwards not long after the death of her father, and Edwards is accused of taking advantage of Lisa Marie in a physical, inappropriate way when she was 12 to 15 years old.
That her mom used to date that she hates, and he wrote this book about her, Lisa Marie.
Oh, yeah?
Saying that, when Lisa Marie was first developing, he started to have some feelings for her.
Oh, no.
And she said that he came into her room at times and was inappropriate. I don't know what that means.
Yikes.
I can't believe you actually came out with that. It's true.
Wow. Did he touch you? Because I'll kill him.
Didn't actually make it there, but, tried.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you tell your mom?
Yep.
And did she give him the boot?
Yeah, it was a battle, that one.
Really? Because you would think once you said it to your mom, she would just go, "Hey, I'm protecting my daughter."
Well, no, she did. She threw him out, but it was a bit of a, it was a bit of a situation.
How old were you, if you don't mind me?
Between the ages, I think I was between 12 and 15.
Wow, that's a little young.
Yeah. He never got anywhere with it, by the way. He just alluded. It was disgusting. And he wrote a book and then did the talk show circuit and I think got, booed off stage most of the time. He was saying he was lusting after me when I was developing, which is gross.
That is gross.
So...
And Presley told Playboy in 2003 that Edwards would come into her room drunk and act inappropriately towards her. Lisa plunged headfirst into a gloomy underworld. Substance use helped the young Harris forget all her problems, and this rapidly became an addiction that needed to be treated. Lisa Marie attended the notorious Scientology Celebrity Center for treatment when she was 17 years old, and that's how she entered the Church of Scientology.
She is also a member of the Church of Scientology, about which there's always so much speculation. She even took one of their passionate arguments to Washington, where some members of Congress expressed full agreement, arguing that Americans have to stop giving so many drugs like Ritalin to their children. It's a Scientology cause, but she received a respectful welcome.
But I'm now taken the title as the spokesperson for this committee.
How much does the church matter to you, of Scientology?
Very much. Do I give half my money? No. Do I? What? In what way?
What was the worst thing you did?
It was consistently just bad behavior, period, you know?
Drugs?
Yeah. Like I did drugs from when I was 14 to 17, completely stopped, right? What happened was I was just really out of control, and my mom, she put me in that castle in Hollywood because she knew that I would be watched and controlled.
The castle is a Scientology center, where her mother sent her after she had binged on drugs.
And, you know, because she kicked me out of the house.
She did?
Yeah.
Scared you?
It was more just like, what am I doing? Why are we here? Why am I here? What's happening? I was quiet for about a year, and I fell apart physically for a while, and then I sort of...
You fell apart physically?
Yeah, I just had a lot of things happen physically. My body was breaking down. So
Sounds very serious.
I started having chronic panic attacks, and just my body just freaked out on me.
Did you go through therapy?
No. I'm a Scientologist, so...
When you're a Scientologist, you don't do therapy?
There's a form of counseling, but it's not the same as, you know, labeling or stigmatizing one or drugging someone. It's very different.
So, but what do you do? I don't know actually what you do.
Well, there's two sides of it. There's a studying side where you just read and you're studying, and it's sort of a science of life, and encyclopedia of life, and somebody sort of guiding you to self-realize things, not you know, stigmatize you or label you and evaluate you. You know? It helped me understand myself, my mind, other people's minds, sanity, insanity, dark black cloud that seems to be looming over everybody, whatever you want to call that. Scientology answered that for me very well. So.
And does it cost a lot of money to be part of that?
You know, there's a course that can cost $50, $100. Depends on what you're doing. So.
Okay.
We wondered, given what we all hear about the power of Scientology, where the church stood on her disastrous marriages.
Church isn't going to tell me what to do with my relationships or my life. That's not what they're there for. In fact, I walked in there, I don't know, 2 months ago and said, you haven't seen me in 4 months. Now look what happens. So they put me back together. Humpty Dumpty falls off the wall, and there they are with the glue. The problem with me is that nobody ever tells me what to do. Oh my God, I would rebel. I mean, I would be like their worst nightmare. Honestly. That just wouldn't happen.
The first album by Lisa Marie was titled To Whom It May Concern and was released on April 8, 2003. And in June of 2003 was certified gold and peaked at number 5 on the Billboard 200 albums chart. Now What was Presley's second studio album, and it premiered at number 9 on the Billboard 200 chart on its April 5th, 2005 release. And on May 15, 2012, she released her third studio album titled Storm and Grace. The singer-songwriter explained, "It's much more of a rootsy record, organic record than my previous work." Spinner.com observed, "Presley has made the strongest album of her career in the upcoming Storm and Grace. It's a moody masterpiece exploring the demons and angels of her life to the tune of country-spiced downbeat pop." The song In the Ghetto was released as a single in August 2007. The song was first released as a single by Elvis Presley in 1969, but the updated version featured a duet between her and her father. The accompanying music video went straight to the top of the iTunes sales chart and to the top 16 on Billboard's bubbling under Hot 100. She did this video on the 30th anniversary of her father's passing. She filmed the clips in NOLA because she wanted to use this for something good, as she explained to Spinner. The profits from the music video and the single went to help fund the construction of the new Presley Place transitional housing campus. And on an episode of Oprah Winfrey's show, Lisa Marie sang along with the Harlem Gospel Choir while old footage of her father played in the background. In 2001, Presley Place opened to its first residents. Presley Place provides homeless families up to 1 year of rent-free housing, child daycare, career and financial counseling, family management guidance, and other tools to help them break the cycle of poverty and regain self-esteem and independence. Presley married Chicago-born musician Danny Coe on October 3rd, 1988. They had 2 children, a daughter, Riley, an actress and model, and a son, Benjamin Storm. Presley obtained a quick divorce in the Dominican Republic on May 6, 1994.
She says her former husband, Danny Keough.
What does Danny say to you about this?
He finds me very entertaining, oddly enough.
Married Keough when she was 20. He's a fellow Scientologist and the father of her 2 children. Even though 5.5 years into their marriage, she left him for Michael Jackson.
When Michael Jackson was 17 and Lisa Marie was 7, they met in 1975. When they reconnected in 1992 as adults, there were whispers, right? Lisa Marie and Michael Jackson attended the memorable 1994 MTV Music Award. They confirmed their engagement live on TV, then they kissed. 20 days after her shocking divorce from Danny, her first husband, Lisa Marie Presley secretly married Michael Jackson. After making what Lisa Marie now calls perhaps the biggest mistake of her life, she rapidly began to feel regret for marrying him. Jackson needed Presley as a source of compassion. As the news of the, sensual misconduct allegations started to spread about him, she worried about his substance use and deteriorating health. And Presley explained, and I quote, "I believe he didn't do anything wrong and that he was wrongly accused. And yes, I started falling for him. I wanted to save him. I felt that I could do it," end quote. The couple had a passionate beginning to their relationship, but after 2 years of marriage, they decided to divorce. And in a statement, Lisa Marie cited irreconcilable differences as a reason for the split. Karen Faye, Michael Jackson's former makeup artist, said that the King of Pop had planned to divorce Presley first, but changed his mind after she begged him not to. Jackson found out the next day that Presley had filed for divorce on her own. They maintained contact after parting ways. Lisa Marie kept in frequent contact with him via phone and occasionally visited him in person. And when Michael Jackson passed away, she was very distraught and hurt. And they did remain really, really close,
He's very different than he presents himself to be in public. I can be in a situation where someone's more famous than I, or as famous, or a huge icon, and then I can sort of have my position as a female. I wasn't seeking publicity myself. I was kind of looking to feel like I can support somebody else that I admired. We both, I'm not going to point fingers and all that, but it just didn't work.
Do you regret it?
It sort of stigmatized me. Immediately it's that whole, what is it with you? Always associated with that. Everything's about that. You were married to Michael Jackson, that's like the biggest, And it turned me into a freak.
Michael Jackson?
Oh, God.
Michael
I
Jackson?
thought you were going to go here first. I was hoping you forgot.
Why did you marry Michael Jackson? What were you doing?
It's unfortunate that not a lot of people know who he really is. He doesn't let anybody see it. And I just want to say he's not stupid. He didn't get where he was because he's stupid. And he has some idea about how he should represent himself in the public that he thinks works for him, which is this sort of meek, victim-y, quiet thing that he does. He was very quick to, the first time I met him, sit me down and go, "Listen, I'm not gay. I know you think this, I know you think that," and started cursing, started, being a normal person. And I was like, wow. So I get caught up in that. I'm pulled in right away. I fell in love with him. I did.
In love?
Yes, I fell in at the time. Now,
Sexual attraction?
I told you, everything I said was the truth.
Sexual attraction.
At the time.
Nobody thought this would last.
Okay. My arms were toned.
What about the way he looks?
I told you, see, now I'm not attracted to mediocrity or normalcy or things like that. I think certain things I'm weird. I don't know, I'm whacked.
I still remember the first time I met her, 1995. Our first interview.
But you can't live with somebody day to day. We're together all the time, first of all. Second thing, how can you fake that 24 hours a day with somebody, sleeping with somebody, waking up with somebody?
So these were like romantic nights?
Mm-hmm, yeah. I don't remember them very well, but yes. I mean, it was normal. I wasn't going to get married if it wasn't that. Like, I even remember thinking, how is that going to happen? I can't even imagine him like that, whatever. And then he quickly disillusioned me of that idea.
Looking back, do you think he used you?
I can't eat time. I never thought of myself like that. I was all caught up in who he was.
What did she really think about the allegations swirling around him?
I think his behavior is a bit erratic, but I don't know if he's like technically psychotic, But, I don't want to go off. I don't want to keep talking about him. I don't want to knock him, you know what I mean? I'm really not interested in, going off on him.
By the time Lisa Marie Presley married Michael Jackson, Jackson reportedly had been treated for addiction to painkillers.
Because there's been talk about painkillers all the way through. What about him and drugs?
I never saw it, but I suspect it. I don't know, though. It's funny because I never saw it, so I can't answer.
He was also under siege. He had been investigated for child molestation with a 12-year-old boy.
I am totally innocent of any wrongdoing.
I was already friends with him. There was already some romantic stuff going on a little bit before that happened.
Jackson settled a civil suit with the family, reportedly for millions of dollars. And his camp implied he was the victim of extortion.
It looked like extortion, at the time. from what he was telling me was going on. I mean, it looked a little suspicious, but at the same time, I know that he loved me. You know, as much as he can love someone, I think he did. I wanted to say that I've seen these children. They don't let him go to the bathroom without running in there with him, and they won't let him out of their sight. So when he jumps in the bed, I'm even out. You know, they jump in the bed with him.
Looking back, do you believe it was true?
I can't say that.
Did you see anything at all that caused you concern?
No. And you start thinking things that are not normal are normal. You get caught up in his world and his reality, and I sort of got caught up in that. And now when I look back at that interview, I'm like, wow, there I was, and I don't recognize that person anymore. I'm like, wow, that was me under the influence type thing. It was like I saw it with little girls, I saw it with little boys. I just saw that he had a connection he had something with children, not a bad, weird thing. I didn't pick it up as that. They responded to him, he responded to them.
So you never saw anything with your children that caused you concern?
Never.
She says soon after our interview, she began to see the situation more clearly.
It was a long it was like a process. It took me a while to start asking questions, you know, that didn't like me asking questions. I started to just kind of wake up after a while.
But you filed for divorce from Michael?
Yes.
And how did you tell him that was it?
It was when he was, you know, I was over the phone. I'd had enough. There was a lot of stuff going on then.
Did it shake your confidence?
So I went through this whole series of just body falling apart, you know, stress. The gallbladder just went to zero function. I had to get it taken out. I had mono and Epstein-Barr. Am I sorry now? It's something that I don't think I'll ever shake, but, you know, I mean, it's more just frustrating because I know people will, you know me or see who I am and be like, hi, you seem like you're all right. What was that? You know what I mean?
Presley and musician John Oszajka, sorry for the mispronunciation, they became engaged in the year 2000, and it was after she met Nicolas Cage at a party that she decided to end the engagement. The marriage to Cage was Presley's third. They tied the knot on August 10th, 2002, and a lot of people said that Nicolas Cage was just obsessed with Elvis Presley. That's why he married her, but I don't know. Who knows? Because he did do some Elvis impersonations, even in films, and they thought, you know, that's why he wanted to hook up with her. What do you guys think? Because they ended up having some heavy disputes between the couple, often ended in explosions. There was this one time on a cruise when they had a major fight. Out of frustration, Nicolas threw Lisa Marie's $65,000 diamond ring into the water. And of course, he felt bad after and then went and hired scuba divers to go look for it. But of course, they didn't find it because, come on, in the ocean water in the middle of a cruise, they're not going to find that ring. Cage initially sought a divorce on November 25th, 2002, and he ultimately succeeded in having his request granted in 2004.
I didn't throw the ring.
That's true. But who threw the ring? Somebody threw it. Somebody threw it. Who did it?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Somebody on the boat. I'm not getting into that specifically. It wasn't me. I was getting the rap for it. You know, the thing that affects me is when I'm with someone and they try to make it look like that's this. You know, she's with Nick because of, you know, he's obsessed with her dad or something. It's not. There can't possibly be a real connection. It's about that. This man was, you know, multi-talented, done 50 movies, won an Academy Award. Somehow discredit it and him by putting him there, you know, like he's just an obsessed freak and that's why he's with her. That was just horrendous.
They said, among other things, that he was an Elvis fan.
I honestly never saw one Elvis artifact or piece of memorabilia. I know
blue suede shoes, as we read here.
No, it's like an attempt to make it into something weird.
She says they married hoping it would tame the explosions. It didn't.
I'm not like that suffer. I'm like, you know, retaliate girl. So it's like, no. We actually do talk. We're fine. I don't want to rip on him. He's a great person. Really. He is. You don't believe me. He is. No, really.
Why do you marry them when it's like this?
You know what it is? It's that I get attracted to artists. I'm attracted to artists. Like when someone's shaking it up when they're different. I don't know why. I'll never know why, but it's just what I get attracted to.
Now, on January 22nd, 2006, Presley tied the knot for the fourth time, this time to her guitarist, music producer, and director, Michael Lockwood. Danny, her first husband, served as best man at the couple's wedding, and I know, you know, y'all gonna say that's weird. The wedding was held in Japan, by the way, but she remained close friends with Danny, her first husband. He even was living with her at some point. They never stopped being friends, okay? Due to her sudden weight gain, rumors began circulating that Presley was pregnant in March of 2008, and after much anticipation, on October 7, 2008, Presley gave birth to fraternal twin girls via C-section, Harper Vivian Ann Lockwood and Finley Aaron Love Lockwood, and after 10 years of marriage, Presley filed for divorce from Lockwood in 2016. Presley opposed Lockwood's request for spousal support in February 2017, stating that she had discovered hundreds of images of in videos of indecent images of children on his personal computer, and that she had taken protective custody of her daughters as a result. They went to court. They tried to battle it out. She would not give up. She filed for divorce, got protective custody of its kids, and then the divorce was finalized in the year 2001. Then the Presley estate was in terrible shape by 2015. Lisa Marie fired Barry Siegel, her financial manager, after she saw how much her assets had dropped. She said he squandered more than $100 million without keeping her aware of the status of her wealth. Lisa Marie found herself broken in debt at this time with $16 million owed in debt. She had to live very frugally after a lifetime of living in wealth. Another blow would happen to her. Lisa Marie Presley experienced a personal tragedy in 2020. Lisa Marie learned during the pandemic that her son Ben with Danny Coe had ended up dead by his own hand. The now mother of 3 received the devastating news at a time when most people were already anxious about the virus. To her, he was her world. She loved him and never fully recovered from that. She moved back with her first husband, Danny, so that they could grieve together. The grief was clearly mutual and very personal for them.
Lisa Marie Presley is opening up about grief after losing her son, Benjamin Keogh. She has faced some very low points following the 27-year-old's passing and still feels the devastation. It's a real choice to keep going, one that I have to make every single day, and one that is constantly challenging, to say the least. Me and my 3 daughters' lives as we knew it were completely detonated and destroyed by his death. We live in this every single day. Benjamin died by in 2020, and Lisa Marie explained in her emotional piece that she still feels the immense pain. I already battle with and beat myself up tirelessly and chronically, blaming myself every single day. But others will judge and blame you too, even secretly or behind your back.
And unfortunately, Presley died of a cardiac arrest at her home in Calabasas, California on January 12, 2023. While being transported to the hospital, her heart stopped and was restarted using chest compressions, but sadly, she passed away later that day at the age of 54. It happened so quick. Her mom, Priscilla Presley, broke the news of her passing. She had last been seen in public just 2 days earlier when she and her mother went to the 80th Golden Globe Awards. So you can see someone on screen on the red carpet living their life, and they're literally gone a day or 2 later.
Lisa Marie Presley, the only child of Elvis, dead at 54. She was rushed to the hospital earlier today after possibly going into cardiac arrest at a Los Angeles home, according to TMZ. Her mother, Priscilla, confirming the news. She was last seen publicly just days ago with her mother at the Golden Globe Awards.
Tonight will be a wonderful night for Elvis.
Yes, I hope so.
She was 9 years old when her father died. She was married and divorced 4 times. Her ex-husbands included Nicolas and Michael Jackson, the king of pop married to the daughter of the king. Back in 1994, the unexpected couple created endless tabloid headlines. They both starred in Jackson's music video, You Are Not Alone. She went on to release 3 albums. Her hit songs like Dirty Laundry receiving critical praise. She also sang an emotional duet with her father 40 years after his death, recording the song Where No One Stands Alone. The latest movie about her father, Elvis, won Best Actor at the Golden Globes on Tuesday. Austin Butler in that role, thanking the family in his acceptance speech.
Lisa Marie, Priscilla, I love you forever.
ABC's Chris Connolly sitting down with Presley last year ahead of the film's release.
It's almost as if he channeled him. He puts everything he had, his heart, soul, everything he had into researching it.
She was asked when she was alive, how would you like to be remembered? And she said, as a good mom mostly, and a pretty okay singer-songwriter. This is so unfortunate to her children, her mother, and all those who loved her. If you like the music you guys are listening to, the link is in the description. Like, comment, subscribe, and share with a friend, and tune in for the next one. Comment below your thoughts. I love you guys. Until next time.